Here is a work example for a small Sydney duplex, the kind of first project an aspiring developer might tackle. Assumptions: a 700 square meter R2 zone site in metropolitan Sydney, two 4-bedroom duplex dwellings of 210 square meters each, and 18-month program. GST under the margin scheme. A senior debt at 65% LVR, cost total 2.6 million. Revenue: each duplex sells at 1.65 million for gross realization of 3.3 million. After margin scheme, GST estimated at $85,000. Net realization is 3.215 million. Forecast profit $521,500, which is margin 19.5% on total development cost. IRR roughly 24% over 18 months. Against our hurdle of margin at least 18 to 20% and IRR at least 22%, this deal passes, but only just. Our next 3 slides, we will run the same project under a market fall scenario, an upside scenario, and a full sensitivity grid. Those numbers look healthy. Watch what happens when the market drops just 5%. Same project and sales price 5% lower. Everything else held constant. Selling costs come down slightly because they are percentage of gross realization. And margin scheme GST narrows because the uplift between purchase and sales is smaller. Total cost barely moves. Revenue: each unit at $1,567,500 instead of $1,650,000. Net realizations $3,065,000. Forecast profit drops to $375,600. Margin falls to 14% and IRR to around 17%. Both fails under hurdle. Critical insight: a 5% revenue move, well within normal market noise, turns a borderline pass deal into a no-go. The buffer is thin to proceed. You would want credible reason to believe, and value holds, pre-sales locked early, or land price negotiated down. That was the downside. Now flip it. What does a disciplined upside actually look like? The upside case shows what happens when 2 early actions go right. First, pre-sales. By marketing off-plan and securing 2 qualifying contracts early, you lock in roughly 5% above current comparables. Buyers will pay a premium for new finished stock in a tight market. Second, fixed price builder. Instead of a cost plus or variable contract, you tender a fixed price contract that transfers cost risk to the builder and lets you drop your contingency from 5% to 2%, a $40,000 saving straight to the bottom line. Cost drops slightly to 2.66 million. Revenue lifts to 3.365 million net. Forecast profit $707,400. Margin 26.6% on total development cost. IRR around 33%. Both metrics cleared the hurdle with comfortable buffer. The lesson: relatively small structure improvement at the front of the deal, pre-sales and contract type, move the result more than chasing yield. Aspiring developers often focus on squeezing one more unit on the side. The smart move is squeezing one more contract certainty into the structure. 2 scenarios in. Next, the full sensitivity grid. Every combination at once. This is the sensitivity heat map for the Sydney duplex, but presented in IRR rather than margin, because IRR is what equity investors actually care about. Margin tells you the deal spread, IRR tells you the annualized return on the money you put in. Down The arrows reflect gross realization from minus 10% to plus 10%. Across the columns, we reflect construction costs from minus 10% to plus 10%. Each cell shows the IRR on equity over the 18-month program. Color coding. Green is a pass, IRR at or above 22%. Amber is marginal, 15 to 20%. Red is fail. The base case sits at 24%, outline in brass. Read horizontally to see cost sensitivity at base GR gross realization at 10%. Build cost overrun drops IRR from 24 to 17% into amber. Read vertically for revenue sensitivity. At base cost, a 5% revenue falls drop. A 5% revenue fall drops IRR to 17%, also amber. A 10% falls puts you at 9%, clear fail. The diagonals are the real test. A 5% revenue fall combined with a 10% cost overrun produces only 10% IRR, barely better than holding cash. 7 of 15 cells pass, better than the margin view. Because IRR reward velocity even at thinner margin, but still under half. Translation for action. Lock pre-sales to remove the revenue rows. Sign a fixed price contract to remove the cost column. Each removes on axis of risk and shifts the deal into the green zone. If you can't do both, the safest IRR uplift is to negotiate the land price down. Every dollar saved on land lifts every cell on the grid. Sensitivity shows the gradient. Break-even shows the cliff edge. Coming up next. Break-even analysis turns sensitivity into something concrete. For each variable, how far can it move before profit hits zero? That distance between today and break-even is your real safety margin. 4 variables, 4 answers. First, gross realization. Base sale price is 1.65 million per unit. Break-even sits at roughly 1.39 million per unit, about 16% above base. That's $260,000 of buffer per unit. It sounds a lot, but a 16% fall over an 18-month build isn't unprecedented. Recall the 2018 Sydney correction. The buffer exists, but it is not generous. Pre-sales would convert this risk into certainty. Second, construction cost. Base build rate is 3,200 per square meter. Break-even is 4,445 per square meter, almost 39% above base. That's a comfortable cushion. A fixed price builder contract turns the cushion into a hard ceiling by transferring the risk. Third, land cost. Base land price is $900,000. Break-even land price is $1.42 million, 58% higher. This is mostly useful in reverse. It tells you the maximum you could pay for the land and still break even, which is a powerful number to walk into negotiation with. Don't pay it. Don't pay it. Aim for 15 to 20% below break even on land to bank an automatic margin. Fourth, time overrun. Profit-wise, you can absorb a very long delay before margin hits zero. Every additional month adds maybe $8,000 of holding and interest. But particularly your bank's interest cover ratio will fail well before profit does, and your loan will need to be refinanced or extended at non-bank rates. Treat 3 to 6 months as your real world ceiling. The key insight: the deal's tightest constraint is end sale price, only 16% of buffer. Everything else has materially more room. Action follows. Spend your risk mitigation energy on revenue certainty, pre-sales, marketing campaign, premium positioning, not on shaving cost. You have seen the toolkit end to end. Final slide, how to make this repeatable practice. So closing comments, the framework is repeatable and gets sharper with each deal. Refine your template, build a cost library from real tenders, line up your team in advance, track actuals to collaborate, and stay disciplined. The majority of sites you assess will fail. That's the framework working as intended, not failing. Thank you for watching. Bye.